Billie Eilish is a mainstream, overrated pop industry plant who makes kind of scary music. This is what me 7 years ago thought, and I'm really glad I don't think like that anymore. Back then, my sister showed me songs of her EP and I hated them. Then as the years went by, I was forced to hear more and more of her music because my sister, my girlfriend, and my sister-in-law are all obsessed with her. And over time, as my ears began to realize there was more to life than just overly lyrical hip-hop, Billie Eilish continued to grow into one of the biggest stars that we have today. This new album, Hit Me Hard and Soft, is an immersive, atmospheric, transportative record. In my opinion, it's the greatest example of her versatility, vocal range, and song-making ability. Here's why. One of younger, silly Mikey's issues with Billie's music was it was so sad. Why is she always singing about sad stuff? Lol, as years went by, I sort of get it now, Billie. On this new record, she has genuine smash hits. She's already got hits, of course, but these are like universal, all ages, can appeal to everyone in different genres kind of way. Like Lunch is everywhere. With that driving pop rock drum pattern and guitar in combination, as soon as you hear it, it just makes you like, your shoulders just start moving. Plus, the seemingly random at first guitar strums that are actually strategically well placed really add to it. The lyrics are really catchy, and it's so cool to hear her expressing her sexuality in such a fun, happy way. It's also been amazing to see people in the queer community really feel seen and heard by one of the biggest pop stars in the world. A community that often feels so restricted, like making videos, being so free and singing along. Loving the song. Plus, it's just a really good song. I have to pause here to just make sure I give a round of applause to Phineas, just because. Bro. Anyway, as we continue talking about these happy hits that the album has, Birds of a Feather, like genuine wedding song contender in this house. Like Daniel Caesar, her best part, like that sort of loving, romantic, just banger. It's a perfect blend of heartfelt, catchy, but not cliche, and like authentic at the same time. It's got extreme replay value while also being incredibly well written. Like, I don't know what I'm crying for. I don't think I can love you more. I knew you in another life. You had the same look in your eyes. I love you. Don't act so surprised. Like, plus the production underneath feels euphoric. Like that cloud nine, head over heels feeling of love, but put into sound. One of my favorite aspects of this album is the progression and changes within each song. Similar to Tyler, the Creator's last album, most of the songs start off sounding completely different to how they sound at the end. Bittersweet fills that description perfectly. It feels like it's going to be a classic emotional Billie ballad, and then it suddenly becomes almost Billie bossa nova-ish and makes your hips start to move in a understated, ever so subtle way. And her voice does that breathy, almost seductive thing that she does in Billie bossa nova that kind of takes you into a trance. Until it goes into this underwater realm and the sound melody comes in that forms most of Blue. But this isn't the only song that has a crazy musical transition. Like on Le Mot de ma Vie, where it becomes a 70s techno, almost The Weeknd-ish EDM house rave out of nowhere, after starting off sounding so eerie. I feel like The Diner is the perfect example of that scary, off-putting, eerie sound that me 7 years ago was scared of. But now I appreciate it for what it is. The song is supposed to sound haunting and weird given the subject matter, and she wants you to feel how she felt when she was writing and performing the song. She's telling a very interesting story, and I haven't really done much deep diving into the meanings of each song because I didn't want it to shape my first review, but I'm excited and intrigued to hear more about what she's talking there. Shihiro might just be my favorite song on the album. I've purposely avoided other reviews because, like I said, I didn't want it to affect my initial thoughts. But I really am interested to know the true meaning of the song because I've got a few thoughts in my head. My interpretation is that she's singing to herself about her sexuality and opening up the door to who she really is, or the door of the metaphorical closet, telling herself it's okay to come outside and be herself, filling herself with love because of it. Or she's talking to a love interest that she had and telling her it's okay to have these feelings. Or this love interest is like recognizing her for her true self. Like, that's when you found me. But then also she says, there's a part of me that recognizes you. I'm very intrigued. Anyway, whatever the meaning of the song is, for me, it's the centerpiece, it's the masterpiece in a really wonderful album. Phineas introduces these cool synths into the song, and then as the song progresses, they just get louder and louder into the mix and drive a feeling into your soul in combination with the hard bass line underneath. The song grows and becomes this grand atmospheric anthem, and then just has the restraint to pull it back in right when you think it's gonna go even bigger, and just brings it back into a somber ending. I love it. I love it. But the main reason I mentioned versatility at the start of this review was I feel like every song on this album could possibly fall into a different subgenre, and she floats and cooks on all of them. Her voice feels even better on this album somehow. There's always been overwhelming talent there and personality in her voice. Like, she's got a very distinct vocal sound. But I don't know, I feel like she sounds more mature. Like the vocal runs on Skinny, like that as an intro, just hearing those vocal runs was like, man, Skinny is different. I love this song and I love everything about it, but what I really like about it the most is that the mix really allows her vocals to cut through and shine, and then those strings at the end. It's so powerful and vulnerable, just like The Greatest, which is another one that makes you feel like that. Someone please help my brain, because it's a bit overloaded right now. Please explain Blue to me, because like, I just want to really know what it's about. I think I know what it's about, but I'm not entirely sure. I love the strings at the end. Like, the whole song gave me goosebumps on first listen. Then on a random side note, she says she sleeps 3 hours a night. Same. For me, Billie's music is like she's beautifully and skillfully exposing all of her deepest insecurities and vulnerabilities and inviting us all to do the same, which allows the listener to really connect to her on a deeper level. And I feel like that's what she did on this project. She's always had that connection and relatability with her fans by, like I said, showing herself and her personality. But what she did on this one was sprinkle in more hits with it as well. And that mix of relatability and catchiness and like connection on a deeper level is what makes a timeless album. I think this album will be played for many years. Will be played by people for many years to come. And for people like me a few years back, it will hopefully help people to realize how amazing she is. I feel like the first half of this album was very instant and immediate, whereas the second half is a bit deeper and will take a few more listens to get into. But those deeper, not as immediate songs tend to be the ones that grow on me and will stick with me the most. Hit Me Hard and Soft is up there with some of the best albums that we've heard this year. It probably top 2, but I haven't fully thought about it, so that's a bit quick. But it's my favorite Billie album. I think for me, it's the one that connects with me the most. I love the production, I love the songwriting, and yeah, I think for me, it's her best. It's my favorite. Congrats to Billie, Phineas, everyone else who was involved with this album, because I think it's gonna be up there at the end of the year as one of the best albums. And yeah, it's one of my favorite albums of the year, and it's my favorite Billie Eilish album. Let me know your thoughts on the album below, and if there's anything else that you'd like me to speak on about this album, or any other reviews that you'd like me to do, let me know. This is my first time doing a more long form, well thought out, structured review. It was difficult, it was interesting, but I really enjoyed it. So if there's anything else you'd like me to do similarly, let me know. As always, thank you for the love and support. Appreciate you all. Your shoulders just start moving.